Everybody signed on?
Yes.
Still don't have description?
You have it now?
I'm checking it out. But he had it.
I've got it.
You have it?
You do? You do?
Yep.
Well, you win the prize of the day.
No, I'm second. I need the second.
But you had to sign off.
I think, I don't know, try logging off and logging in one more time, because you were, who doesn't have it?
I know.
Melinda?
I'll go.
Heather?
I don't have it.
He's hung up for you, so.
I have super user, so should.
I would say yes or no if I didn't answer.
I do. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, that time it worked.
Yeah.
I haven't.
You don't even need to run it, you can just right click on the table and call them.
Right after you did that. After I did it. It's working now.
Alright. I think you guys just logged in a little too quick. If you just log back in, if you still don't see it, log back off and back on, you should see it now, because I've fixed everybody.
Corey's got a screen too.
You got it? Good? Alright.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I found it.
He's good. Alright, anybody in common?
I have description.
Alright, well, good. Perfect. Hopefully, Kay does as well.
And what's great is that it works on any field. It'll work on document type. It'll work on any column that has a description associated with it. Okay, so everybody signed on.
Beautiful. Did you feel it?
That turn drives me crazy because you can't find it out because it keeps flying.
You don't have description.
No?
No, you don't. Nope. Check out. Yeah.
1 second.
White.
Yeah.
Item number column, is that just by pure chance that we're not seeing any actual digits in there? Just what appears to be a description?
Yeah, I'm saying one.
Okay, it's the same on mine, and I'm running through PY, so. One item.
Good call, man.
Okay, maybe it's just
Description.
the way
There
it
should be a
is.
number.
That is the description.
So if you have here, this one will have a description. You can include in the description on the end. That should,
You put filters on this?
yeah, I'll get your QE ones up here, so you can type in or add filters up here, background text.
I mean, that's what I'm with.
You can just work as well. Yeah, okay.
No worries, no, I don't want to put
That's weird though. It should
I jumped down another,
the round trip.
a different track there, yeah.
First ask your neighbors, then if you don't, they don't know. No. Everybody should be okay now.
Is everybody ready to proceed now?
Heather's just trying to get back in.
I'm good. You have any comments?
You're good? All right.
Okay, so we were in the column sorting and grouping dialogue. And I was making the point that the sequence in which the columns were displayed here is the sequence in which they're displayed on the report. So if you want to move things around, you can just move them around using these buttons, or you can actually drag and drop from here. I actually use the buttons more than I do dragging and dropping. Does yours have the, do you have this box check down here in yours? In the bottom left-hand corner next to more columns, I got a box check. Is yours checked?
Yes.
Anybody's not checked? This box right here, does anybody not have that checked? If you don't check the box, you don't see the columns, you don't see their file, the table and name. Table and column. So go ahead and check the box. On the right-hand side are the ones we've got included in the report. There's two different types. You notice all of these have an A in the little button next to it. Can y'all see that? Those are what we call attributes. So attributes can be added and removed from this dialog. If they have a pound sign, they're an amount, and they cannot be added or taken away from this dialog. So when I write on my default here, I have order quantity, back order, held quantity, cancel, scrapped quantity, ship to date quantity, and extended amount. I cannot add or remove those from this dialog. I can move them around so that they appear in a different column, but I can't, if I don't want the item number, I can double click and remove the item number. If I want to move the item number back, I can double click and add the item number back. You'll see that? So anything that's got an A, I can add it or remove it. But if I want to add or remove one of these that has a pound sign, I have to go to this filter right here that says amount. And then there's a visual assist, and I can then pick and choose what amount I want to add or remove. Everybody clear on that? Anybody not see that? Anybody want me to go over it again? Anybody awake? Nobody's awake. Okay, so column sorting and grouping. Okay, so this is the sequence in which they're in. We can add or remove. If there are columns that we want that we don't see here, we can press the More Columns button. You see where I am? It will bring up a list of tables, and we can go get the column that we want that's not here. So I'm going to maximize this. So if there is an item in the 4211 that I want and I don't see, I can go get that item. I'm checking the box here. I'm added SDCO for company. When I click OK, SDCO company is now included right here. See it? SDCO is the name of the column. If I want to add it, just double click. It's now in my report and just move it whatever position I want it to be located in.
You notice your available columns on the left-hand side. If you look at that table column, everything is listed in the F4211 table. That means that every single field you're pulling, that is available on the left-hand side, is only from that one table. But if you were to pull in another column from, say, the item branch, the system knows that does do a join automatically to look for that item branch record based on the item number on the order.
We kind of have two of those. Here's one from.
That's what I was going to ask, because there's a sales order detail in F4211 and another sales order detail in F49-11.
F49-11 or F42119?
F49-11. There's an F4211 and an F49-11.
Where is that? Scroll.
It's just a different table.
Which table is that?
F49-11.
There it is.
So what is the difference between that and 49?
That's what I want to know.
4211. No, there's supposed to be.
That's a J.D. Evers question. No. The prefix is UD. It's not FD. You notice that? It's a different table.
Sales order detail file. It's a tags file.
The tag file.
So it's an addition. I think it's an additional. Just don't use that one.
So these are fields that are related to the sales order, but they're not in the sales order table.
Main sales order table is the F4211.
Everyone see, we can pick which sequence they're in, we can pick which columns are included. The next thing we can do is right here at the bottom, we can change the names. Like right here it says ship to. Maybe I don't want the sold to, I just want the ship to. I can come here and right mouse click and say remove column. You see where I am? All eyes on the screen. Pointing to a column, right mouse click, remove. And I click remove, it goes away. If you want it back, you go back to column sorting and grouping. Then you go to sold to and just re-add it. So if I wanted this to say customer instead of ship to, I can right mouse click here and do set column header. See where I am? I can type in here customer. And now that column heading will say customer. I can also go to column sorting and grouping, point to that column, and I can type it in here. 6 to 1 half does the other. If I make it customer 2 here, and click OK, it says customer 2 here. I can go here and take the 2 away.
Change the name, you gotta keep straight with what line.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. So you might customer, what is that? I don't have a tag, I don't have a field called customer. If I point to the column, this is really cool from a JD Edwards standpoint. I can right mouse click here and do what's this, and it tells me it's SDSHAN. JD Edwards will not do that. JD Edwards will tell you it's SHAN. And if SHAN is in 12 different tables, you want to know which one it came from. But this one, another thing about JD Edwards, you see it says SD here. That SD gives you a very strong clue as to what table it came from. That makes sense? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so back to my column sorting and grouping. So I can override the name. I've got 3 options here: auto, hidden, and fixed. So sometimes you'll want items to be included in your report, but you don't want to see them. So if I want to use the branch plant for some reason, but I don't want to see it, I can, I'll give you an example of that. Okay, so what I did here was I went in, I did Visual Assist, selected a bunch of Exxon customer numbers. Then I put in my order date range of January through December. This time I'm going to run it, but I'm going to press F5. I'm not going to press the run key. So I got 206 orders. You see all these are for a certain customer, and then I get another customer number. Y'all see that? Okay, I'd like y'all to follow along with me if you can, because I'm going to do some interesting stuff. So do you want me to give you a minute to catch up? I'm going to show you how to get a subtotal. I'm going to show you how to hide this, see right here where we got customer, it's got one, whatever this is, 113121 over and over and over again. I'm going to take this, I'm going to create a header that says 113121. I'm going to create a total that says 123111. I'm going to get rid of the column to save extra space. So if y'all can remember by watching that time, if you want to follow along. You ready?
Yeah, you guys call me with questions about taking coverage class. Sorry.
Okay, so I got my column here called customer, which is the SDSHAN.
That's actually the ship to.
Yeah, I renamed it customer though. But the ship to is a customer, right? Shipping to a customer.
Just customer. Yeah.
So, okay, so I got ship to here. If I go to my column sorting and grouping, the second tab, so I got 2 tabs from this dialog. One's consolidation, one's sorting and grouping. Y'all with me? Okay, so what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ship to, I'm going to move it to the top. I can do that actually 3 different ways. I can point to this little thing and go up, up, up one at a time. I can press this button that takes me all the way to the top. I can also drag and drop it. Okay, if it's at the top, that's my primary sort, my secondary sort, my third sort. You follow me? Pointing to ship to, I now can do ascending or descending. I'm going to select ascending. And now I'm going to sort by this. Okay, so if I just run this, I'm going to get a report out by the ship to number. Okay, so I'm going to take this one step at a time. I could do all 5 steps now and get the result I want, but I want you to see what each of them does, okay? So all I've done so far is I've went into the tab that says sorting and grouping. I've taken ship to, I've moved it to the very top, and under sorting, I've selected the thing that says ascending. So you can stay where you are, you can follow along with me. I'm just going to press OK here, and then when I run it, I get the list, and it's in sequence by my customer number. Okay, so you see all of my 113, 121s are now together now. And now, can you see that? So if I want to get out a header and a total every time that changes, I'm going to go right back to where I was. Okay, I'm pointing to the ship to column, the first column, and all I'm going to do is over here where it says grouping, I'm going to check this box that says header. I'm going to check this box that says sum. Everybody okay? And then I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to run it again by pressing F5. So see this right here? I'm getting a header out where that starts. See, there's a, it just has my customer number and it's blank the rest of the way. So I'm going to scroll down, and then when I get my last number for 113121 in my case, I get a total here. Yes, sir.
And your column, that's when you get it set to code.
I've got it set to code, yes. If I want a code and description, I could do that as well.
Just right click and go to description.
Yeah, if you want code and description, just right mouse click, description, code and description.
That functionality is only available on fields that have a description. Like your line number column on Lee's query isn't going to have a description.
Right.
Your order number, for instance, is not going to have a description, but your order type is. So I mean, you have to understand that each different column will have the capability and some will not. But if you don't know what certain statuses mean, like you have a last status code, next status code there, you want to make sure you're looking at the right statuses. You can use it there too. You can right click and go description and pull up the code and description. That way you can see the code and description of the status. It'll tell you. Now, one other thing I know that people like to do is if you have a list of part numbers and you want to kind of run a report that's going to have a long list of part numbers, you probably don't want to have the part number and the description in the same field because you're trying to do some filtering on it and you just don't want to have that extra text there. You can actually add a description column. So much like before when you're going through column sorting and grouping and you pulled in different columns, there's a column called description 1. There's one called description 2. You can add those separately. That way they're in separate columns, so when you're doing any kind of filtering or matching up with another table or something, it'll be separate from the actual description of the part.
Okay, so let me show you one or two other little teeny features, but they're kind of nice. See in my sold to here, right under where I've got sales order processing, there's a little dash or a little minus sign. You see where I am right here? If you click the little minus sign, it will hide all the filters so you'll have more room on the screen. There you go. And the other thing I can do is down in the bottom right-hand corner down here, right above my date and time on my Windows PC, I can slide this and make this bigger or smaller.
How about just removing every single line of this?
That's exactly where I'm going, and I could have done all that in one step, and you go, wait a minute, how did you do that? So I'm taking teeny-weeny little steps here so I don't leave anybody behind. So thank you for saying that. Okay, y'all ready for the next step? So the next step we're going to do, what do we have to do to get exactly what you were talking about? I got to do two things. What are the two things I got to do?
Versus,
I can hide this column, but then my header and my footer will disappear. Except for the totals, the numbers will be there, but I won't know what that's from. So what do I got to do? I got to move the header and the footer over to another column. Then I can hide that column. Y'all with me? Because if I hide this column, this won't be here anymore. So I got to take this and move it over here or somewhere else so it'll still be there. Okay, you ready? Let's go back to where we were. Sorting and grouping. And remember where we were here? All we did is put it in another column. See where I did header and sum? I have a drop down here, and I can say I want it in the branch plant column. You see that? I just took under grouping. I have the box check that says header. Right next to there, it says in column. I use the drop down to change the branch plant. Okay? So now when I do OK and run it again, Now, you notice my header is now in a different column. So this is an example where we want to do what? Hide the column. You can tell me how to hide the first column, if y'all paid attention. Point to customer, right mouse click, and hide column.
Now you wouldn't want to remove it.
How did you come up with the name on
What we did was, I'm going to bring the column back by pointing to it and saying, instead of hidden, I'm going to make it auto again. And where we got the words was, I pointed to it, right mouse click, description, and I did coded description. If you said, okay, so what we did to get it not to say auto, to look at the screen, you can either change it to hidden, or we can right mouse click and say hide. That's how I got it to say hide. Is that working for everybody? You want me to do it again? You got it?
He's using the shift to as the customer, not the team. Right click there and there. Right, run it. The question was that she had the header, didn't have description listed next to it. Her header just had the number.
Okay.
And that was because she didn't have the code and description on the shift to column, which is what you're using.
Okay.
As a customer, she was looking at the full.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. The other thing I can like to do is, what if I want to, see I've got a header here, if I scroll down to where I have my total, here for that particular customer number. See my totals? I'll scroll down far enough, you get a total every time the customer changes. I can format the header and the footer so it stands out. Give it a different color font, a different color background, make it bold, make it have a line above it or beneath it or any of that kind of stuff. So where we do that is we go back to where we were. Does this look familiar? And then just moving over, we started with the checkbox, we moved it into the branch print column. Now right next to that is the little paint palette looking icon. You see what I'm talking about? So the paint palette icon next on the line that says header formats the header. The one on the line that says sum formats the sum. So let's take that one. I've got three different tabs here. I've got general, appearance, and borders. The first one that says general, what they're going to do primarily is it's going to format the number. It's going to say the number of decimal places. If you want a prefix like a $sign, a suffix like a % sign, that kind of thing. What I'm interested in is the second one that says appearance. So if I want it to have like a yellow background, I'm going to go to the second tab that says appearance. Where it says back color, I'm going to use the drop down, and I'm going to pick yellow. Everybody with me? So say if I want a line on the top and the bottom, I can go to border here, and I can say where it says top, I can drop it down and pick a line, and where it says bottom, I can pick a line. We can even tell it what color we want the line to be. Everybody have that? Okay. I'm going to go on if y'all are okay. I'm going to click OK again and rerun it. Now see, every time I have a total, it's got yellow and it's got a top and bottom border line. And if I were to go back to the Home tab, I press the Excel button. Then when I export it, my Excel has the formatting in there.
Now what would happen if you hit remove column instead of hide column for that filter?
I hit remove column.
So for that shift to it or the customer number, you have the column hidden. If you remove it, well, it'll take away the filters. It'll take away the sorting and grouping.
So let me see.
If you unhide the columns that you have there, hide the filter. So then you actually remove it, as opposed to hiding it. Then none of that sorting and grouping will work.
Correct.
To make that clear,
Right, yeah.
opposed to removing it, if you need to hide it. If you remove it,
Yeah.
then none of that sorting or filtering will work.
For some reason, my totals are sitting under the sold to column, even though I'm selling it branch one. So I've got my header here. This guy's sitting over here. And header. Okay, which I did.
It goes to the next,
Sold it.
there you go. Let's check that box.
Oh, okay. I've got totally on two columns.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, got it. Okay.
Okay, any questions on formatting the heading? Okay. So now we can, how would I format the total? Did I figure that one out? To format the total, I would just use the pay palette next to where it says sum. You see that? I go down here, appearance. Say if I want this to be bold, see where it says, am I going too fast for you? We're just going back to where we were. So under appearance, I'm now going to press font, and I can make it bold and change the size of the font. We can do underlines and strike throughs. So this time I'm going to change the color, but I'm going to use a more specific color. So you see here, last time we just chose yellow, but if I go back to there, y'all look at the screen, see where it says more colors? I can press more colors. Come on, Lee. More colors. And I can pick the color from here. And if that's not specific enough, I can press the second tab. I've got a standard tab and a custom tab. So I pick like what variety of, I want a yellow color, okay? So I pick yellow. If I go to custom, I can actually go up or down the scale and make it a darker or lighter yellow.
A lot of color combinations.
Yeah. So now we just okay, get out. And we rerun it now. When we get our total, it'll have that formatting line.
The header always be the customer, because that was from college.
The reason the header is the customer is because we pointed the customer and we told his header. If we want a customer every time the branch plant changes, we would just move that to my second sort and then tell it ascending and, you know, whether I want a header or footer there. Does that make sense? So what if I wanted to know how many orders I had for each customer? See this little thing here that says advanced? I'm going to point to the ship to. See there's a button here that says advanced. Everybody see where I am? I'm in column sorting and grouping. I'm in the second tab that says sorting and grouping. I'm pointing to ship to, which has ascending, where it says sum, scooting all the way over to the right. There's a button that says advanced. I'm going to press the advanced button. Okay, so pay close attention, because this can be it's very simple when you understand what it's doing. When you first look at it, you're like, oh my God, what is this? It's so complicated looking. So where it says aggregation level, that means, well, view that as what just changed. So right here it says ship to. The ship to just changed. So when the ship to changes, what do I want to do? I can do a sum, I can do an average, I can do a count, a maximum, a minimum, or a unique count. So what's the difference between a count and a unique count? If I've got an order number and it's got 5 lines on it, and I tell it to count the number of orders, if there's going to be 5 if I count them, there's going to be 1 if I count the number unique. You see what I'm saying? I've got order number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. If I do count, there's 5 of them. And they got the same number, but it's there 5 times. So it's counted 5 times. If I only want to count that as 1 order, I do unique count. Because it's only going to increment the counter every time the value is different. So I'm going to say unique count, and it's gonna automatically check all the ones that have values or quantities. So I'm gonna uncheck that. And I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna count the number of orders. So I'm gonna count the order numbers, you see that? I could count the number of order types, the number of branch plants, number of ship dates. You get the idea? Okay. Everybody with me so far? So my next two things down here at the bottom say text I want to display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe that out. I'm going to type in here number of orders. Everybody see that? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get these words that say number of orders. What column do I want them to appear in? Right now, what column are they going to go in? The ship to column. Is the ship to column displayed? No, it's not. So is it going to be seen on the screen? It's not. So to make it show up, I've got to use the drop down here, and I've got to make those words appear in another column, like branch plan. Does that make sense? You want to go over that again? Anybody confused? So I'll go.
You put it in the order. We've got an order.
You can put it in the order.
Put it in the order.
You can.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Right.
And it's okay. Okay. Let me be clear. We've got two different things here, and it's a little confusing. One is the words that say number of orders, and we really don't want to put it in that column because that's where the count is going to go. The number that says 5 is going to appear in that column. So I really don't want to use that column. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to kind of go back over it one more time, we clicked on the button that said Advanced. It brought up this dialog. At the aggregation level, it says Ship To. And what that means is, since I'm sorting by Ship To, every time the Ship To changes, it's going to spit out or print out these totals. I tell it which totals to print out by checking the box. I have the box header, sum, and unique count check. Pointing to unique count, I tell it which items to count, and I have a checkbox by order number. If I checked line number, it would tell me the number of unique line numbers, and that number would appear in the column line number. This is the 5 or the 10 or the 6. Does that make sense? And then down here at the bottom where it says display text, I can put in the words I want to see, and then what column. This column is what column do I want the words to appear in. Y'all with me? Okay, I'm just going to click OK, rerun it. And I'm just going to go to the bottom because I know there's one there. So see, number of orders. I told it to appear in the branch plant column. And see, order number, there's 2 of them. So we have all these lines, but we only have 2 orders. See, that was a really good question because if I'd have put the words in that column that says order number, it would have had to make a decision to put the words or the number. And they can't put both. Make sense?
Is there any help on these, like in JD, where you can right-click on the field and get a help? Or?
The help is just a manual, the only thing. So
Okay.
while we're out on that question, do you see the top right-hand corner? Right below the X, there's a question mark. Everybody see where I am? Right up here in the top right-hand corner. Right there, there's a question mark. Everybody see what I'm pointing to? I'm pointing to the question mark in the top right-hand corner. I go over this 10 times because I get complaints that I go over stuff too fast. So that's why. Okay, so we're going to press the question mark. And what it does, it brings up our website with our documentation on it. So you're going to get the most up-to-date documentation. So what you really want here is the user guide. So if you click the user guide, it actually goes to our website and downloads an 8-megabyte PDF file that gives you illustrations. That's actually our very, very detailed manual.
There's even an advanced one of those, both of which are available on our SharePoint, our Insight SharePoint site.
So it's downloading it, and now it's going to display it. There you go. So here's our 428-page manual. Okay. You can count both. Uh-huh. Yeah, so the question was, can we do the unique count and the count? So let's do both. Are ready? So we're going to go back to where we were, sorting and grouping and advanced. Okay, I got unique count. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I'm back to where I was, I got number of orders, I'm going to put unique. So I got number of orders unique. So I took the one I already had and added the word unique onto the text. Okay? Everybody with me so far? All I've done is change the text so far. Okay, now I'm going to go down here to count. Underneath aggregation level ship to, I'm going to check the box that says count. Now I've got to change the words again. I'm going to say number of orders. And I'm not going to put the word unique at the end. Everybody got that? And then I'm going to use my drop down to put those words in, again, the branch plant column. Everybody with me? So I took the aggregation level ship to, I checked the box that said count. I went to and checked the box that said what I want to count. Okay, what do you want to count now? I've got to uncheck all of these, and I've got to check number of orders again. So it knows what to order number. So it knows what to count. You ready? I'll just do okay, okay. When I rerun it this time, I'm going to go to the bottom. So here's my number of orders unique. My number of orders total is 10. So this means that there was basically 10 lines. So there were two different orders.
Because you were at the customer number field.
Yeah?
That customer number field is just in the description. I've taken that out.
Oh, no,
We
sorry.
did, yeah. All right, thank you. Any questions on that?
Add on, right, add them up. Or is it going to be the same?
Other questions?
Or the add.
Add.
Would I add 2 W for it?
No. It would have the, we want to show just,
Supposed to having a line detail. You just want to see the number. You just want to see the line.
So,
Out of the road.
I know exactly what you want to see. What do you want to see?
You want to see the order number and then all the subtotals that you have. But none of the lines.
Okay. So her question is, she wants to see the order number and the detail. So what?
Order number and the, all she wanted to see is the order number and then the subtotal of those columns. So she wouldn't want to see the line numbers,
Oh, she shouldn't.
part numbers. She would see this sub order has this quantity back order.
She wants these or not?
The subtotals, yes.
Okay.
Those 3 lines at the bottom, you want to see.
She wants-
Okay, so what Insight does is, it puts out a different line every time one of these values is different. So these 3 different lines are in the same order. The reason we have 3 lines is because the line numbers are different. So Insight does what's called consolidation. So every time there's a different value, it creates a different row or a different line. So if we remove this, it's going to give us one line, which is only one. So if the order date is different, we still get more lines. You see what I'm saying? So if you just want one, we would get rid of everything but the order number, every attribute, every A, as opposed to pound sign, except for the order number, the ship to. So if you wanted,
Summarize on just.
but do you want the count as well?
To change for each line, right? So you have to remove the item number, remove the line number, you have to remove all the columns that split information. Does that
and
make
then
sense?
you start starting from the order number.
Yeah, I mean, you can show them what we're talking about, we'll consolidate it for you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to column sorting and grouping. And I'm going to remove everything, but I'm going to first I'm going to make the ship to so you can see it.
Your branch plan, you have words in, so you probably want to keep that. That probably won't change per order.
Yeah, do we want to see the counts, or do you just want to see the totals?
Total,
Total.
I know we meant to put the count, like the number of orders and then the total.
The The number of orders words appears on that branch line.
Okay,
column,
well,
so you would leave that.
we can't do that this way. That won't work. We have to do two different things.
You can show like under branch line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 orders and a total amount in it, that's one.
I can't, but I don't do it this way. I do not use this feature to accomplish that.
You start using a hierarchy instead?
Yeah. I'll just show you.
All right, so take out
So I can do whatever you tell me to do, but you want to understand what I did. So I have to go very slow so you can grasp what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying?
take out the line number
So let's
field
just
there.
do one thing at a time. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to I'm going to get rid of the aggregation levels. Because what we're going to end up is customer 1, 2, 3 had this many sales, this many this, this many that, but I can't do counts at this point. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the sorting and grouping. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to turn off count and unique count. I actually can turn off the header and the sum because I'm not going to use those anymore either. Okay, then everybody with me? So I went to advanced, I just turned every one of those off. The next thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to get rid of everything but the ship to. All the A's I'm going to get rid of.
If we do this, we can go back to default, right?
Hold your question. You want to do what now?
Remove all this stuff, will it save it, or will it,
It's like an Excel spreadsheet. If you open Excel, there's a bunch of stuff in it, and you close Excel. When you reopen Excel, what are you going to see? It'll be back to whatever Excel gives you when you do an open.
alright.
If you want to save it, you can press the save button, save a copy, give it a name, and then when you reopen what you save, like Excel, you'll see whatever the Excel looks like when you save it.
In that case, you'll have the original report, so setting
Yeah.
ships you need to do also, I mean, the data's still in the files,
Yeah.
it's just the way you're looking into it.
Yeah. So we got 5 different things going at the same time. I'm trying to do 1, and then do 2, and then do 3, so that everybody will grasp what we're saying. So all I've done so far is I've removed everything but ship to. So what I'm going to get is customer this, had this many of this, this many of that, and that's all I'm going to get. And I'm going to show you how to count the other stuff. Because what you were wanting to do, and you want to see the number of orders, it won't work with aggregation because there's nothing to count. You can't remove the column and have the count at the same time using that feature. I'll show you how to do it, but it's not using aggregation.
The order number column could still be there, but if you took the line number column out, would it change the way the count is calculated?
Let me show them how to do it, and then I'll answer your question. What I'm trying to do is, if I keep answering everybody's questions, the class gets lost.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm trying to stay on
Okay.
point so we don't get,
Got it.
okay, so if we run this, here's our person, here's the values, okay? Does that make sense? I'll even take this, under this column header, okay, it's got customer. I'll even remove, how does it say customer? Okay. So you can see for this customer, here's our different values we have listed. Does that make sense? This is actually kind of cool. So
It's across all orders.
across all the orders, yeah,
Your extended amount for the ExxonMobil Corporation is $258,000.
for that date range.
Yeah.
That's right. Everybody have that?
How do you remember the budget?
Well, you know what I'll do? Why don't we just start from the beginning and we'll create this report? That would be, I think, more helpful because that's what you'll have to do. Okay? So let's go into the S and do new, and then we're going to pick sales detail. So this is what I'm about to teach you is a very useful concept.
Notice how there's 2 tabs at the bottom now, so if you didn't close the other tab,
It's
you
still there.
can actually keep more than one report open at once.
Okay, so the first thing you have to do, if we want to see all this information by sold to, what do I need to do? I need to remove everything but sold to. So a quick way to do that, I can use my shift key to select all of them, and then use a minus sign to get rid of them. Let me do that again.
Yeah.
Okay, I just went into here. I pointed to the second item, which is the first item I want to get rid of. That's the A. See all these are A's? I pointed to the last A using my shift key, using the whole range like I taught you earlier, and just use this to get rid of them. So now, the only A I have is sold to. Everybody see that? If I go to column, my sorting and grouping, my next tab, sorting and grouping, I just want to make sure it's sorting ascending. Everybody got that? And I don't want the sum. Because what I'm going to get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exon, total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, exon, total. I don't want those totals. So I'm going to turn sum off. When I see that, I uncheck the box that says sum. Because I do not want a sum. Press an F5 to, ooh, I forgot to put the stuff in.
Yeah. You have filters in.
Okay, so let's go back to here and do our visual assist. EXX asterisk, run, and I'll pick a certain number of them. Pick our order date, January, and run it. Do you have that? Anybody lost or any questions?
It defaults to code or has to do with
Yeah, because what we're doing when we do new, we're opening a template, remember? And that template has code as the default. The National Oil Well, on a global basis, could go into that template, change it to code and description, save the template, and everybody in National Oil Well would open that template with code and description. Everybody have this so far? Anybody need help? Okay. I'm good to go. Start from scratch. Start from scratch. You can go. Yeah, you do that. Go do that. Perfect.
Now, running this, we just ran this wide open for every business unit, for every ledger. Right. For every business unit, for every ledger.
If there's no other filters on here, for the,
The only thing that I'm noticing that's not on here, can we add it? Where can we choose, if we want to run it only for 521?
okay, there's a branch plan filter, see it in the third column over.
Yeah, that's my branch.
521, like, all orders.
So if I did
So you go,
521
use
star,
the asterisk, go 521 star, like, all the business units over. So run it for everyone.
or you could do company one add one.
You can do by company as well. There's also a company shield. If it's not up there, we can set.
No.
Two.
Oh,
you want to take that 30?
Oh.
1023.
What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of 350? All right.
That's all, well, read that all, each should be, 521 should be all.
Sure. Okay, so RH.
It should.
Didn't realize that.
Okay, speak now for hold your key.
Hold on. The new comment.
Okay, so how do I get the description?
So they are.
So I want the description here.
Right.
Point to sales sold to, right mouse click, and code and description. Okay? Everybody with me? Okay, now we're gonna answer the second question, how can I get the number of orders?
Or get the information by order number.
Yes, so,
That information.
where it's gonna tell me that Exxon number 100680 has 7 orders.
So if you wanted to see the subtotals, like those amount fields,
Uh-huh.
subtotals by order number. That's what she said.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, we just add the order number then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to remove order number.
Okay.
Right.
Order number.
So then that's the highest first, from there, you would add the.
So, I want to show you both things. The thing I was going to show you is very useful too. So if we go into, she wanted to see that information for each order. So, I'm in here, I found the order number. Everybody see where I am? I'm just going to add the order number. And what I usually do is move it to the second place. I've got ship, sold to, and order number. Everybody see where I am? Now I'm going to sorting and making sure order number has ascending, so I'm sorting by it. And I don't want any headers or sums. Everybody have that? I'm going to click OK and rerun it. This will show us for this order, here's the values.
And if you added a line number there, it would split it by line. So you can see as you add additional columns, the number of lines will increase, and will split it by more and more values. So all you have is order number there, it's summing up everything by order.
Right.
But there's no way to move, say, we want to go back to these 4 quantities. There's no way to do that without the order number.
So let me show you what else I was going to show you. Does everybody understand what we've got so far?
Mm-hmm.
So if we took, just make sure you understand the concept. I think you do. But I've got sold to here. If I just remove this, put in ship to, make sure it was sorting by ship to, and I wasn't subtotaling, I get the same presentation for ship to. If I took out that and put in branch plan, I would get a summary by branch plan. If I took it out and put in GL day, I get each of the stuff by GL day. You follow me? So that's one of the things that's really cool about it is you can aggregate, that's what we call aggregations, at whatever level you want. So the other thing that's really nice to be able to do is, what if I didn't want to see all this, that's a lot of detail. What if I just want to see, like an accounts receivable, if you have people that apply cash, you want to see how many checks did each clerk process in a certain time period, or how many accounts payable vouchers did you process, or how many different sales orders do we have by branch plan. But you don't want to see all 17,000 sales orders. You just want to see the number 17,000. What you can do is, that's what I was going to show you earlier, is now I'm going to remove the order number, just by do remove, and now we're back to 1 line per Exxon customer number, and I want to see how many orders were there for each of these numbers. Now ready? Okay, I'm going to go to the third tab that says Inquiry Objects. See, I got the first tab is Home, the second one Design, the third one Inquiry Objects. So I'm in the third tab, there's a button here that says Calculation. I'm going to press the Calculations button. Everybody see where I am?
Third tab.
I'm in the tab. There's a tab at the top that says Home. There's one that says Design. There's one that says Inquiry Objects. I'm in the third tab that says Inquiry Objects. You follow me? Okay, the computer's got to catch up, okay. I thought Ken said that there was a Microsoft package you could apply that took care of, it wasn't just us that had problems with Server 2008, it was a lot of programs. You okay now?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we're going to press the calculations button.
That's a different query you run there, so the top right hand button, that little bit. Yeah. Right click there, go to close thing. So it's a whole, it doesn't look only a photo. Thank you.
Everybody okay? Anybody need to catch up? I'd rather y'all be caught up, because I know, because we've seen today, things lock up and it's not your fault. So I don't want you to get frustrated. I'd rather wait on you so you can see. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to press the New button. See the button right here that says New? Everybody see what button I'm talking about? I'm going to press the New button. Okay, and right here I've got three different things that I can fill in. This last one here says user defined, you don't need to mess with that. This is the name of the calculation. So the calculation, when you do them, you want them to be three things. You want them to be short, and you want them to be meaningful, two things. So this is going to be my number of orders. So I'm just going to put in N-O-O-R-D, number of orders. And then over here where it says caption, that's where I'm actually going to put the words in. Number of orders. In the name I put in N-O-O-R-D, and in the caption I put in number of orders. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we have two types of calculations. We have a default calculation and a conditional calculation. The first thing we're going to use is a default calculation. So we're going to press the define button right here. I see where I am? And press define, and then we're going to create the calculation. This particular calculation is a function. We're going to use a function called unique count. So this Fn of x, see right there? This button says Fn of x. I'm going to press on that. I get a pop-up menu. It says values and more functions. I want to select more functions. Okay? Everybody with me? I'm pressing more functions. Now I have a drop down. It says average. I want to use the drop down, and I want to scroll to count unique. Can you see that? Count unique. Now what do I want to count? I want to count the number of order numbers. So it says select function column. I'm going to drop that down until I find an order number, and I'm going to select it. So I have type is count unique. My select function column is the order number. All right? Is anybody falling behind? Okay. I'm just going to press OK. I come back to the dialog here, put my function in here, and now I'm going to press OK again. I get to the place where I put in the name and the caption, and I'm going to press OK again. It brings me to the function I just created, and I have to check this box so the column will show up. You know, sometimes you create calculations but you don't see them, you just use them maybe for another calculation. If you don't check the box, it's like a working calculation, but it's not displayed on the screen. So we want to display this one on the screen, so we check the box. I click OK one more time. Now I get a column here that says number of orders. And if I rerun it, it tells me how many orders there are.
That calculation function is extremely valuable. That's going to be how you can determine, if you're trying to look at days late, you could add a column for that and look at two different order dates. You can sum up things. For a lot of times in JDE, if you're running a query on inventory or something and it'll show you the unit cost, it's going to be in the local currency. Well, you don't want that in the local currency. You want it to be in US dollars. You have to create a calculation that looks at it and says, I mean, you can do conditional ones where it says if this company is so-and-so, then multiply by this factor, that kind of thing. So you can, a lot of capabilities there.
And when we run total,
Yes. Yes. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Is everybody okay? You see what we have so far? So Chris, your name's Chris, right? Chris brought up my next point, is the grand total doesn't give us a total here. So the way we get that is we go to design, column sorting and grouping. You remember how we work here? We go to sort, and now we're going to use a button we have not used. See at the very bottom of this dialog? Is everybody with me now? Let me show you where I got here. I'm going to go back. I did, remember on the design tab, column sorting and grouping. Remember that? The design tab, column sorting and grouping. And then I'm using this second tab that says sorting and grouping. Everybody okay? Anybody need me to do that again? At the very bottom it says grand total. I'm going to click the advanced button by grand total. I've got here that says sum. Guess which one isn't checked? Number of orders.
I did something,
You did something?
and now it's
Everybody's got that? So I'm just going to do okay, okay, rerun it, and now we get the grand total for the number of orders. Although the grand total, the words disappeared. That is grand total.
Grand total is the number.
We were shit right. The grand total should appear anyway. The words disappeared, didn't they?
Display text, run total in column number of orders. Maybe we need to move it to the ship to, or the sub.
There's not a place to say where to put that one, is there? Let's see. Oh, okay, there's grand total. Oh, yeah, number of orders, yeah. It's the column, remember that thing you talked about where we had both of them in the same column? You got it, spot on, that's it. We could do this to troubleshoot this stuff.
You double click on something and it brings you to, like, I don't know, it brought me to where I was just.
We have,
I'm down.
just go to the home tab, and there'll be a red X that says close, close out. What you've discovered is a feature called L1. We have the ability to pick a number and show you what it is.
That's what I'm really more interested in, but if I close this inquiry, it's gonna bring me back to this.
Yeah, that's right. Or you can use a tab at the bottom. You have a tab at the bottom. You move back, yeah.
It's giving me some kind of.
You okay back here? Okay, do that. See my slide?
Again, there's calculation functionality, and I think it'll be a lot of things. What we're trying to go to different hierarchies too, which is more level, that's more. Go back to the.
Okay? Everyone okay? Any questions? Okay. Let's do this again from scratch. See if you can do it. So I'm going to close out of here. I'm going to point to home, see the closed inquiry icon. Yes, I want to close it. And I can do that as many times as I need to get a blank slate here. We're going to do this again. So that, I kind of went through it. I may go a little faster this time, but, okay. Remember to do the S, the new, and I got to pick sales order and detail, sales detail.
Mine just keeps giving me this.
It keeps giving you that thing.
Unhandled encryption.
You may have to sign off and sign back on it. You keep getting it. You know what we ought to do is just schedule a day to troubleshoot whatever this is that doesn't go against the days that we owe you.
Okay.
You know, give you every day.
I don't know, it continues to happen, and I get emails every day from people saying, what do I do now? They just say, well, you know, it's a problem, it continues to happen, just try again.
Okay. Okay, so we're doing new sales orders, detail. Okay, so do y'all remember what we did? What did we do? What's the first thing we did? Okay, let's go get all our exons. Next thing we did. Order date. I'll give you another trick that you shouldn't have to do, but it's a good thing to do. Notice I changed this to January. Here's a habit I want you to get into. When you make a change, do not leave the cursor in the field you changed. Click the cursor in another filter. That makes sure that the change you made gets recorded. There are times, about 25% of the time, if you make a change and you press run, the change you made will not get recorded. So the habit I want you to get into is when you make a change, select another filter that is not the one you just changed to make sure that your change gets recorded. Okay, what's the next thing we did?
Go to design right now if you want.
Go to design, columns, and what do we do now?
You're gonna take off what you don't.
We're going to take everything off we don't want, which is ship to all the way down through next status. Do you want the order number or not? It depends on, do you want to see every order? Do you want to see every order? You include the order number. If you don't want to see every order, you don't include the order number. It's either way, because there's times you do want to see it, there's times you don't want to see it. So the last thing we did, we didn't see the order number, we saw the number of orders. Because remember, Insight, if you include the order number, it's going to put a line in for every order number. So we're going to get rid of everything but the ship to. Sold to, excuse me. Everybody okay? What do we do next? We're sorting and grouping. And what do? Turned off the sum. You know what? Let's do this. Let's leave on the sum, and you'll see why I don't want it.
Okay.
So leave the sum checked, and do OK, and run it by pressing F5. You see why I don't want it? Instead of give me a sum every, this is exactly what we told you to do. We said we want to see a sum every time the customer number changes. So the way we get rid of it is go back to sorting and grouping, back to sorting, and uncheck the sum. Uncheck this box. So that when we rerun it, we just get one line per. And then how do I get the words, the names? Right mouse click, description, code and description. Very good. You can press F5 to run. Or you can use the little thing that looks like an arrow.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were saying.
Yes. I prefer to do the F5. I don't know why. It just seems a little faster to me. Okay. Now the only thing we got to do is add our count, right? You know how to do that? What tab do I go to? Inquiry objects. And what button do I press? Calculations. And what? New. Okay. And then our name we put in NOORD. And in our caption, we put in number of orders. What do we do next? Define. Function. More functions. And we did count unique and order number. And we tried to put these in as screwy an order as possible so you have a hard time finding them.
Yeah.
If they sorted it and you don't like it.
Yeah. Ascending.
I don't know what sequence those are in, it's just a random number, I guess. So we got count, unique, and order number. So from here, it's just okay, okay, okay. So we get to the place where we can check the box. Did I go too fast for anybody? Rerun it. There's our number of orders. How did we get the total? Everybody okay? Anybody lost? Aren't you glad we did it the second time? It's kind of sinking in now. How do we get the grand total here? Come on, Chris, help me out.
Go to design. Column sorting and grouping. Go to sorting and grouping. Go to advanced on the grand total field there. Click on the number of orders. And on your display text in column, shift that to sold to, otherwise you won't see it.
You got it.
Champ.
Everybody see that? Everybody okay? Remember, if we didn't use this drop down, then the words went away. Okay, press F5 to rerun it, and there we go. Okay, so what if I wanted to see, okay, I'm going to do another one. This time, I'm going to start from scratch, and I'm going to bring in the order number this time, and we're going to bring in the number of days between, what was it, the promised delivery date and the order date. We're going to calculate that number. And we're going to create a column. We're going to have customer number, the order number, and it's going to be the number of days. What days is that? What calculation is that?
Say that again, sorry.
This is a calculation year promised delivery.
It's like that's the, I guess the order cycle time or
Cycle days,
lead
whatever.
time.
Lead time?
You could also look at how many days late it is from today's date. You could look at the number of what are the kind of sales, so folks that are in sales and they run backlog queries, what kind of calculations are you often trying to look for?
The takeaway at a really general, really high level is, you have a table and you have 2 dates. So you want to do days sales outstanding, or you want to do days payables outstanding, or you want to do, days it takes you to get cash in. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is you want to subtract the 2 dates and get a difference. So what you want to take away from here is any template I'm working with, I want to take 2 dates and subtract them and get the difference.
I think you should do one that looks at the actual lead time of the sales order versus the promised lead time of the sales order.
Okay?
So you can look at ship date and order date, the difference there. Then maybe you also look at promised date and order date. So that would give you the promised lead time, and then you have the actual lead time.
Shift is the promise, right?
Yeah, so that way you can see the number of days difference between shipped and promised.
You want ship date versus order date, you said?
That would be the one that would give you the actual sales order lead time. So ship date, order date, because this minus this will give you the actual lead time, and then this one will give you the promised lead time. Just basically to show you the functionality of how you can subtract 2 different dates here and calculate.
I'm going to do the promise one first, because actually it's kind of like 2 different differences, and then calculate the difference between the differences.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm just going to take a little bit at a time. Okay, so we're going to take the difference between the promised delivery date and the order date. That'll give us the number of days we promised delivery in. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do it. So we're going to go start a new inquiry again. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do new, sales detail. Okay, I'm going to show you a different feature. You want to see this on orders that are open or orders that are closed?
Doesn't matter. We can pick either one. You can pick the open one.
Okay, so let's just pick the open ones. I'll show you another feature.
You can go by like order status, last status, last status.
If you go to, we can do that one. Let me look at this one. If I do home here, I have inquiry options.
Oh, you're gonna pick
The different files. So you see my home tab? Everybody see I'm on my home tab? This thing says inquiry options. Okay, I have a tab here that says advanced. Now follow me? what I did was, I'm in the tab that says home, I'm pressing the button that says inquiry options. Inquiry options. Okay, there's a second tab that says advanced. Now, what we talked about at the beginning of class, were there's two different sales order detail files. There's 4211 and 4211.9. You know the difference? One you're still working on are the 4211. When you finish with them, they go to the 4211.9. So if we only want to see the open ones, we can select just this one. If we want to see both, we can select both. If we want to see only the closed ones, we can select just the closed ones. You follow me? So if we just want to see 4211, we don't want 4211.9, all I do is take this drop down and select 4211 only.
You understand what the difference is between those two tables? When you complete a sales order, you go through sales update, it moves from the 4211 table to the 42119, which is the closed sales order history table. So no sales order line will exist on both tables. It moves to the history once you've invoiced it, it's already gone through. Work orders, I think, only has one table. Doesn't have a history table. It all stays in one table.
If we want to treat it like there was only one table, all I got to do is just choose this option that says advanced. And then it'll find it regardless of which table it's in.
Now, if you use the F4211 and 42119, that's when it's acting like customer service inquiry. You know, when you're in customer service inquiry, you put a customer in, it'll have some lines that are blue, some lines that are not. The blue ones are the ones that are moved to the history table. So this way, if you change it to just 4211 and do not join those two tables together, you're only going to be looking at the open table. Now, it can still have some that are invoiced. That could be at, say, 586.20 status, but they will not have gone through sales update, which should happen on a nightly basis.
Everybody okay? Okay. So let's go pick our Exxons. Our order date again. Use 4211 only, yes sir. So I got the 4211 only. I chose my customer numbers for the sold to filter, and I chose the order date. So now, for this example, I'm going to remove all the columns except for two columns. I'm going to remove the everything except for the sold to and the order number. So I'm going to make you do it a different way this time. We're going to do it the harder way, but it just gives you'll remember. I'm going to sold ship to, and I'm going to right mouse click and say remove. Branch plant, right mouse click remove. Order type, right mouse click remove. Leave the order number in. We're going to get rid of line number, order date. Just keep going down the line. Item number, last status.
You can highlight it, shift over, and remove all.
You can do more than one?
I think so. I'm just gonna try it.
Try it, let me know. Oh. I didn't
It
think
colored it, but it wouldn't let me do
I
it.
didn't think you could do it.
If you do
I did.
click and shift and then just select.
Did you right mouse click remove? Did it remove more than one?
Mine didn't.
I'm not aware of it.
It colored it, but it didn't.
I'm not aware of it doing that, but you know, I have seen times when it's like this and it works. I mean, I've never seen this particular thing work, but they'll put in a new feature that I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good to try it.
We'll keep it so to me.
Yes, sir. Everybody okay?
If you did something like you deleted a row or hit a row.
You need an undo button?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
undo button, like
we
to
do.
show it back.
You want to bring the column back?
Let's just say I wanted to add that one back.
Okay. If you want to add it back, we go back to design and go back to column and just move from the left to the right.
Okay, so you can't do it with inquiry bar.
Yeah, there's
No.
not an undo button.
No.
I don't know how to undo button.
How do you unhide columns?
How do you unhide a column? You go to design, you go to column sorting and grouping, point to the column and change it
You
from.
can't do that second, you have to go to the.
Sometimes if you do it this way, it's like I'm going to hide the order number. Let's see if this. I'm going to bring in another one. I'm going to bring in so I've got 3 columns. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just showing something. So I'm gonna take the second one and I'm gonna hide it. So I got sold to, order, and invoice date. Okay, so there's a column between these two. No, I can't. Can I do unhide?
Hide. The hide, you can't hide.
Yeah, I can't unhide. Okay. So I gotta go into here and press it and do unhide. Okay, everybody got this? Okay, so the next thing I want to do, if I run at this, remember what I get if I do this? What am I going to get? I'm going to get, what do I need? I guess I need to get some more numbers. Let me get some more numbers. I'm not getting enough. Just add them all. That doesn't, there we go. Okay. Everybody with me? Anybody need help? Okay, so all I did run is what I did. What are you getting different than what I'm getting?
I get one, I walked in there, so I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Are you back up? Okay. So do you need to start over again, or you were pointing
I
yet?
have broken for the next step, so.
Okay. So you got the same columns I got? So I got sold to and order number? Okay. And then I got sold to, order number, and all these pound signs. Under sorting, I got sold to and order number. And on sold to, I got this box check that says sum. You have that? And it's in the sold to column. I've got sold to, it says ascending. There's a box check that says sum, and it's in the sold to column. Let's see what you get. See what you got. Oh, okay, okay. On this one. The problem with DS, he didn't have enough customer numbers to get as many results as I got. Everybody okay? Let's go and put our description in for the ship to or sold to. So right mouse click, description, code and description. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a calculation that's going to give me the difference between the promised delivery date and the order date. Everybody on board? Okay, you ready? Inquiry objects, calculations, just like we did with the other calculation. Remember that? What button am I going to press? New. And in my name here, this is going to be, what is this, what is that? You said promise?
It's like the promised lead time or something.
So I'm going to put in PLT for promised lead time. And here, put in promised lead time. Everybody all right? Okay, what button I press now? Fine. How about now? Fn of X. And more functions. Okay, so the only, oh crap. It logged me out.
What happened?
I just clicked OK and it logged me out.
Should have done that.
Did it do anybody else that way or just me?
We need a break. Yeah.
Lunch will be here in less than 30 minutes, so if we can power through, we'll have an hour break. Just worry about, we only had this for one day, so we want to make sure we get through as much as we can.
You're just a phone call away.
Leaving town after this.
Our instant message.
I'm leaving town on Friday, so, sorry.
We're going to do this one today. Okay. So I gotta go back into RRT.
Okay, let's go.
Already have an instance. I can't get that to the one I had already. Oh, here we go. Okay. So in my drop down, I gotta do days between. See that? First drop down, I selected days between, and the second one, we want to do between the promised delivery date and the order date. So I'm going to drop, I got promised delivery dates already there. All I gotta do is drop this down and pick order date.
Will you do it from either one?
You can do either one, you're gonna get a positive or negative. It's gonna subtract the date. So if you got June the 1st and June the 5th, if you put the 5th and subtract the 1st, you're gonna get 4. If you put the
So if I put the order date, the first column would be the order date, the second column would be the promised delivery. So you're telling me my values would be backwards?
5 minus 1, I'm gonna get 4. If I put 1 minus 5, I'm gonna get minus 4. Let's try
I want
it.
to do the promised delivery first, because that's the one that's farther out. You're finding the difference in the two, so you want to go with the larger number first.
Okay, that's, okay.
Like 5 minus 1.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
I can never remember what it is. So you do it, if it doesn't come out, if it comes out negative when you know it should be positive, just put some more in. That's what I do. David will probably remember, but
Once you click OK here, you'll see what
Yeah.
values are up
oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
You'll notice.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So if you click OK here, up here you'll see on that screen, days between is promised delivery date minus the other date. At least I think, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can also just do a subtraction, a straight subtraction, could you not?
I don't know.
As opposed to doing a days between function, you can just click one column minus the other column.
Okay.
You'll do the same thing.
Okay,
But we'll go with this one and see how it does.
okay.
If you need to switch, we'll switch.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
So we just do the okay, check the box, okay. Remember the check the box thing? There will be a time when you'll forget to check the box, the column won't show up, just go back in and check the box.
Yeah, like I just did.
Now we run it, we get days, here we go.
Where's our date? Oh,
From
there it is. Got negative.
Well, let's go add those columns in, let's go back, let's add those columns in and see what it's doing.
Yeah.
You remember how to add them in? I'm gonna go to design, go to columns. Remember this one?
Yeah.
Let's go find the, order date and move it over, and the promised delivery date and move it over. And what I'll do is, I'm gonna shift those up. So watch this trick. Remember this? Watch the screen. Everybody, all eyes on the screen. So I'm pointing to that one, holding the shift key down, I've now selected 2 of them. Everybody see that? Now I'm gonna use this arrow to move them up at the same time, putting it after the order date. You can do them one at a time, it's just cooler if you've got 3 or 4 or 5 of them, you wanna move it in a clunk. Yeah. You see, I selected them and I can move the group up and down.
That's cool.
So I added in, after order number, I got order date and promised delivery date, and then our lead time calculation. So we can look at them and see if our calculation works the way we want it to or not. Everybody okay?
What? It's not working, we don't have the ship date. No, they're open, right. Okay, I'm taking ship.
Here, if we want to, so this is where we go to calculate days from the date that we invoice, we need to have 45 days.
Yeah, we'll do that one next.
Okay.
Is everybody okay?
Yep.
Let's do okay, let's run it and see what the calculation's actually doing.
The negative.
Okay, so they're in the backwards order, they're in the wrong order.
Yeah, it's sort of that needs to be.
I thought it, yeah.
Okay, so how do we fix it?
Put your order.
How do you get there to do it? Inquiry object? What do? Calculations, right?
And then edit field.
Then we gotta go to user define, right? Because that's where we put it.
Yep.
And now we're gonna do edit. It messes, in the very beginning, it messes some people up because they don't know they're gonna use or define. Y'all follow that? We're gonna do edit, and we're gonna click define. And the problem is, we gotta do it again. Let's just do it again. Take this stuff and delete it, do it again. I'm just highlighting this and press the delete key. You can't actually cut and paste little pieces of this, but it's good exercise for you to do it again.
Right.
Do we have it backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Do it again? Come on.
not sure why I did that.
Okay, so I'm doing days between, right? This time I'm gonna put the order date first,
Right.
and then the promise delivery date. Going backwards.
I'm pretty sure you could also just do a subtraction function, so you could put the first column in,
I should have tried that, I was going
and
to.
then do the minus button, and then do the next column, and it should actually find the difference for you.
Okay, now we're good.
And then, okay, are you getting quotes and those are the second one?
This is a class for everyone, when it comes down to your detail orders, we can take that offline. Right.
Are you getting quotes?
We switched it, what she's saying is we switched the join earlier, so it only look at open orders.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yes. She was asking if it's looking at open sales quotes as well.
It will look at those quotes,
My quote, yeah, mine's putting, yeah, my output is quotes and.
because it doesn't have anything,
So
there's no
like,
restriction on
You
order.
didn't put a restriction on it.
Because I did put SOs only, and we only get.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if it's the top,
So the order type, you can put SO or SO.
or in that order type line, in that order type, like, you put the SQ up there, and then put the little not equal to sign.
So the question was,
Well,
if we want to just see SOs or SQs in the order type here, we could just put SO, comma, SQ, whatever we want to see.
Show them the not equal to button.
Okay. See this button right here, if we want to see everything but SOs? If you don't want to see SOs or SQs, you click this not equal to. It shows us everything that's not an SO or SQ. If you click the equal, it shows us everything that is equal to SO or SQ.
You probably want to.
Okay, you put your cursor in the order type, and then the equal sign will appear, and it's a toggle. I'm gonna put mine back to asterisk and do it again. Everybody okay?
This is calendar days, right? Working days.
No.
You have to work weekends.
Sorry about that.
we work 7 days.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but our calculations would be for 7 days.
Days late.
Yep, yep, because we're manufacturing for 7 days.
Okay, so what if we wanted to get the average down here for every time the customer number changes? Yes, sir? Say it again? Say if I want to take all these up, one of this, and divide them by 4, put the number right there. Or actually, it's going to be on that line. So we're going to get an average by customer of how many days, how many days, the difference between those 2 days.
Yeah. What's our average lead time?
Our average lead time, yes. It could be days late, but we have to do different calculations. We have to do the actuals, right?
Okay,
And we'd have to include closed orders rather than open orders.
okay.
But we could do it, same methodology.
Oh, yeah, I gotta get my brain out of it. We're doing open.
Everybody okay? So we're just gonna do, we've done this before, you just haven't applied it to a date. So we're gonna go here to design, column sorting and grouping. Then I'm gonna go to sorting. Okay? When do I wanna see this total? Every time the customer changes, right? So I'm gonna point to the customer number, the sold to number, and I'm gonna press advanced. If I wanted to see it every time the order number changed, I would press the order number and say advanced. Because remember my little words here? I'm saying every time, what just changed? When the sold to number changed. I could drop this down and choose something else. I'm telling it when the sold to changes, what I want to see. I want to see an average, so I'm going to do what? Check average. What do I want to average? I don't want quantities. I don't want all this stuff. I'm going to check all that. I want to check promised lead time. That's the only one I need checked. See that? Everybody with me? And when down here in the words, I'm going to say average lead time. We don't have to change it this time because we hadn't hidden anything. We had to change it last time because it was going, it was a hidden column last time. It's not hidden this time. But you're right, if it was hidden, we need to do that. Okay? Everybody with me? I'm going to do okay, okay, and if we run it, here's our average lead time. I don't like the way that looks, but we can fix it. This total has a space after it.
Yes, I was trying to figure out where it was.
So what I'd like to do is, I want to take the space, I'm going to have to leave that space here, but I really want a space after this. Maybe a line, or maybe make it a different color or something. Do you want a space between here and here or not?
No,
No?
it's too confusing
Okay.
now.
So let's take the space out of here, and let's put the space after here, okay? So the way we do that is, we go back to where we were. So we're going to go to sorting and grouping, sorting. Okay, so what's making our space after the sold to? I'm going to go here to, it's actually this one right here. Sold to, and we got this little formatting thing. You see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I got sold to, I've selected, and I'm doing the formatting. And then I'm going to do my orders here. And you see it has space after. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. I'm pointing to sold to, and I'm looking at the little paint palette thing. And then if I go to the third tab that says borders, I'm going to uncheck the box that says apply after. It says row spacing is giving me a space after. So I'm going to turn that off. See that? Anybody not see that? Anybody want me to go over it again? Okay. I'm going to do it and get out and rerun it so you see what that did. Okay, so that took our space out in between the customer and the average lead time. Everybody see that? So now we want to put a space after the average lead time and maybe put a line underneath it. Y'all agree? Maybe make it bold. So we go back to where we were, sorting and grouping. Okay, we can't get to the average from here, so we have to go to advanced. Does that make sense? It's not a sum, so we can't get to it. We got to go to advanced. And we got to go to average. Do I see where I am?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to press the little format button next to average lead time. You see I got the average lead time where we typed it in? I'm going to point to the formatting. I have to be pointing to average. Did you miss that point? I've got to be pointing to average so my words average lead time show up so I can press the formatting button. Then we go back to where we were, to the third tab, and let's do a line at the bottom. I'm doing bottom, subtracting the line. I'm going to do apply after. Can you start over? Are you logged in?
No, we're good.
Okay. That's going to give me, but I still got this green color and it's not bold. So y'all with me? I got the line for bottom and I got apply after. So I'm going to go ahead and go into appearance. See the second tab? Everybody okay so far? And I'm going to, I don't like green. I want to take the green and change it to another color. Like, I don't know, blue. Purple, that's fine. And I want them to be bold, so I'm gonna click font and make it bold. Everybody okay? Any questions? Now we basically okay, rerun it. There you go. Is that better? Okay, we've got 10 more minutes. In the remaining 10 minutes, we're going to rebuild this, but this time we're going to do all orders, and we're going to do the ship date versus the order date.
That'll be all closed, all orders that have ship date.
Yes.
No, it's closed.
Yes.
You want to change your join back to the...
Yeah, I'm going to start from scratch. That's right. Everybody okay? So we're going to do almost the exact same thing. The only difference is we're going to use different dates. And we're going to use different tables, okay? So we're going to go, I can show you a new way to do new. If we do home, we can do new from there. And then select sales detail. You see that way? If you go to the home tab, you can use the drop down next to new and select sales detail. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same report. You don't have to do the averages and everything, but we want to get the actual. We take the sales versus the order date. Okay, so let's go in here and get our Exxons. We're starting again.
A new one.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, so if we want, what can we do so we only get orders that are end-of-day processing with occurred for? We do two, that's true. I could go to inquiry options. What do I do? Advanced. That's right. Everybody okay with that? So this is only going to give us the orders for which end-of-day processing has already occurred. Everybody all right?
Where was the three options again?
Okay, go to the home tab, go to inquiry options, which is the last button on the right-hand side. You got to go to the second tab that says advanced. And then you use the second drop down that says use sales order details, and then from the drop down select use F4211.9 only. Okay, we're going to put our order date range in. Great. Got my order date range in. Okay, what do we do next? Take all the columns off. Okay, do we need to, so I guess we'll put to desk check our work, we'll leave the sold to number in there, and we'll get rid of everything but the two columns we're going to subtract, which are ship date and order date. Okay? So we're going to get rid of
They're not even there.
all of the, that's true. So we're going to have to add them.
Different cost way here, sorry.
Okay, so let's do the order date and add it, and do the ship date. Where's the ship date, Daniel?
There's a ship date overridden.
Which ship date do you want to use, Daniel?
Then actual.
Actual ship.
Actual ship date.
Right at the top.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. So if I want to move those up as a group, how do I do that?
Shift.
Shift, and then use the little icon. Okay? I've got sold to, and then order date, and actual ship date. Ready, all right?
Don't we want to add promised delivery date? Are we going to calculate date just
So
the way
calculate
it was made?
between order date and ship date. Is that all right? Or
Okay.
the actual lead times.
Actual income.
All right. I guess we need to let's put the order number in there as well, so we can check it on an order by order basis. I'm going to add that over and make it my second column. Okay, look here, here's another trick. I've got this, I want it to be the second column. Y'all watching? The fastest way to do that is use this button to move it to the top, and then use this button to move it down one. Y'all see that? I can go up, but
Why?
yeah. Do you see that? Can we do it again? It was at the bottom because I just added it. Can you look at the screen? Okay, so I want it to be the second column. To make it, I can go up, and maybe move up one at a time, but I can do it in 2 clicks. Go to the top and move it down one.
Or drag it.
Drag and drop it. Yeah, that's true. To me, the drag and drop is kind of kludgy. It doesn't. I can't always get it to do what I want it to do. So if I can't depend on you, forget it.
What was that word?
Kludgy.
Kludgy? Never heard that word before.
Okay.
Let's look that up in the Pumpkin Waggle.
So under my sorting, I got sold to and order number, the main ones I want to make sure I'm sorting by. Okay, so that looks good. If we do a run now, we'll get our customer, order date, order number, order date. These aren't shipped though. These don't have an actual ship date.
They shipped.
Right?
They were status 999. That's that broken table in JDE.
Okay, we'll do this. In here, put in not equal to 0. Okay, my
Yeah,
actual.
but still is not giving us correct data.
It's not?
That's not fixing the problem. All of those orders were at 999.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but just for the sake of showing you how the tool works.
If we had to run this report for Boss tomorrow, we'd be up the creek.
That's because the data's bad, right?
That's right. There is something wrong with the ship date field.
Okay.
What's wrong?
I don't know. It's been wrong for quite some time.
Ship date fields are not right?
They're populating blanks. They've actually shipped, but they're not populating the date.
Those lines up top there are the ones you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The actual ship date?
Yeah.
The order is actually shipped, but that date is not populated.
Yeah, the tables aren't.
The tables aren't, something's wrong with the tables.
I tried to put it in there, it's just not taking it.
Okay, so this is good for us because we get to see how to use not equal to.
Yes.
Just so you have to see less than greater than 0. So when I rerun it, I only get the ones that have dates. Because I put this query by example item in here.
Take that out, and I want to check on that one order here.
You want to see the one? You want to see a problem?
Yeah, I want to see the problem one.
Don't do that. Daniel's just doing some investigating.
Yeah, I'm gonna log into JD.
There's 5.
You sure did.
I know.
695-836.
Yeah.
It's going on for a long time. Hello.
Can I go on now? Okay, so now we're going to do our calculation.
Sorry.
695-836. Yeah, 695-836. Okay, do you remember how to do the calculation? What tab do I go to? Inquiry objects, calculations, new. This is going to be our actual lead time, ALT. You'll always be able to do this one, right? What do we do? Define, Fn of x, more functions. What function?
Average,
Days between. We're going to put in the 2 different dates, remember?
The actual date
So the smaller date is going to be the order date, so it's going to go first. And the bigger date is going to be the actual ship date, so it's going to go second. Everybody okay with that? So we're just gonna do the okay, check the box, okay, and run it. There we are. Everybody have that? Okay, you want to do the average? So to get the average, what do we do? What tab? We're going to put an average in. Design. Column sorting and grouping. Sorting and grouping.
At the bottom, my grand total.
That's the second thing we're going to do. The first thing we do is where it says sold to, you're going to click the advanced button.
Okay.
And then
Average.
now we're going to do average.
And we're gonna only check what we want to have.
Exactly. Which will be our actual lead time. Then what do we do? Right with us, we check average, we uncheck all the boxes except for actual lead time.
And then we do just like that.
And display text, we're going to do actual lead time. I need more time. I'll give you a couple of minutes or two here. So we got the aggregation level is sold to. We check the boxes at average. In setting 4, we unchecked every column except for actual lead time. And with that selected, we did display text as actual lead time. Okay. Rerun it. Not getting anything. Okay, it's on the second line. It's that formatting thing. It's like, it's not there, where is it? It's there. Okay, so how do we, you remember how to fix it? Yeah, so we're gonna take the space after the total. So, sorting, grouping, and then we're gonna press, with sold to selected, we're gonna do the formatting button, remember? Y'all know what we're doing? We're getting rid of the space. So we go back to where we were, with sold to selected, we're gonna press the format button. We're going to go into the third tab and uncheck the box that says apply after. It's in the group that says row spacing, and it's spacing after. We don't want to space after, so we're going to uncheck the box. Anybody remember that? Anybody need me to start that little start over again? Anybody lost? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go on. So now I reran it. I'm getting the same thing except I don't have my space. So now if I want to put my lead time, so I have a line underneath it, make it bold, what do I do? Remember? Columns. Sorting and grouping. And this time I got to press what? I got to press the top advance. Because it's not a grand total. If it was a grand total, you do the bottom one, but this is not a grand total. We'll do that one in a minute. But this time we're just messing with this one. So which one do we want to fix? Average. And where it says actual lead time, what are we going to press? The formatting button. And the thing we did last time was we went into appearance and we changed the color. Let me show you a different thing I do sometimes. Okay, everybody watching? I'm going to take this and where it says green, I'm going to make it white. And where it's white, I'm going to make it navy blue. Or some dark, I don't like that dark color. But that one, yeah. And then I'm going to make it bold. Change, all those types of changes are done at the template level. So, yes, you can. You just got to change the template. Changing the template is kind of The whole company has to do it, so here it ain't gonna happen. So what you can do is, take you one that you want, and all these things like you were asking about earlier, you know, can I make it automatically have code and description for sold to and all that kind of stuff? Make all the changes you want and save it as an inquiry. Then when you want, open up that, and do open, go to it, open it up, and then save it, as whatever you want to call it, and instead of doing new, going to open every time. And that would have all the things the way you want it. Everybody okay now? So we could do the line underneath. I don't think we need it, but we'll go ahead and do it. You remember how to put the line underneath? Borders, and then bottom, just put a line. Apply after. Everybody got that? Okay, 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 rerun it. How's that? We could even take these, you could calculate two different, these are the difference between these two dates. You could take the difference between two other dates, subtract them, you could do all kinds of stuff. You could average the differences. You get the idea? We do a whole bunch of different stuff. On this one, what we want, let's see. You do this at the customer level. I can do it at the Exxon level. What I'm going to do is I want to see for all the Exxon orders, I want to see the orders that took the most actual time and the least actual time. All the Exxon orders, and I'm going to sort those orders by this column right here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get rid of, let's leave this in here. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. This is the way anyway. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. We'll go to column sorting and grouping. Sorting and grouping. Remember, all of you know how to get there by now. We're going to do something you haven't done before. You see at the top here it says sort by, what does it check? Labels. We're going to change it to values. What do we want to sort by? Okay, well, let me do it. Oh, well, never mind. Well, let's try this. Let's go in here and, hey, well, now we added it there. Oh, well, guess we can't sort by it. Aggravating. Right here. Is it there? Oh, there it is. Okay. So we'll sort by the actual lead time. This is cool. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Do you want it for all the Exxons, or do you want to see it by customer, which one had the best lead time? What would you rather do? You want to see for all of Exxon, or do you want to see for each Exxon customer? We can do it either way. We'll do both. Okay, I'll do each customer, and then I'll do all of Exxon. Okay, so first I'm pointing to actual lead time. I went and switched it back to labels. And I've got actual lead time here. I'm going to press, you want to see the biggest one or the smallest one first? We'll do descending, so you see the worst ones first. Okay? And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to my second item. I got sold to, ascending, and then actual lead time descending. You got that? Anybody have any questions, or anybody not follow that? Now let's rerun it. Now it's giving us them in the sequence, so that the biggest one's first and the smallest ones are last. You'll see that? So for each individual customer, I'm getting the highest actual lead time first, and then the smaller ones. Everybody okay with that? What if I wanted to see this for all, every one of these is an Exxon number, right? If I wanted to see this for all of Exxon, what would I do? You need to take the sold to column out. Right? Because as long as I leave sold to in, it's going to do a different row for every customer number. So if I just right mouse click on sold to and say remove, I've already selected all the Exxons up here in my filter, right? But now here are every Exxon order that I have for this dated period of time, and here's the one with the most actual lead time and the least actual lead time. Oh crap, I did the link thing. If you double click on double click. and it brings that up just over here to home and press close. And we're back to where we were. That's a pretty cool thing. What you do is you're using the filters to say what you want to see, and then you don't have to see what you're filtering by in the grid, though. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, I guess we could take our break now, y'all. That was probably brain dead.
We got a